I'm Johnny K. This is part degree, the camshaft for the big block Chevy. Get your notebook. What I suggest is write down what's on your cam card, okay? Write it down. I like to highlight my stuff in yellow, and that way my numbers I write next to it, I can make a direct comparison. Everything highlighted in yellow is what's supposed to be on the cam card. All right, so let's get started. We install the harmonic balancer crankshaft key or Woodruff key. Now we're going to install our crank socket. Remember, it's got a little set screw. Made sure that our piston is top dead center, that it's 0. We're double checking our timing marks. Got a dot and a dot, so these are lined up. So you put the degree wheel on. Go ahead, run this on. That tightens it down. I made a little pointer for the degree wheel, and I ground a point to it, painted it in yellow so it was easier to see. Usually you want to try to keep your pointer as short as possible and as close to the cam degree wheel. We're going to bring number 1 piston up to what we think is top dead center. We're just going to eyeball that. I'm going to call that close. I think that's close to top dead center. Take your timing degree wheel, put that on, and go ahead and set your timing degree wheel to 0. Top dead center. We eyeball the piston to top dead center, put our pointer on, we put our degree wheel on, you line it up right on 0 mark, top dead center. We're going to crank it around a little bit just to bring the piston back down. Take our piston stop. This was I think like 15 bucks. All right, now what we're going to do, we have this little screw down about 3/4 of an inch. Gently turn the motor over, and you just want to bump it. If you give her real hard, you probably stick the bolt right through your piston. I'm going to back it up a little bit. Okay, it just touched. Look at your degree wheel. Okay, so here's 0, and this is about 33. Okay, so remember that number. I'll crank it the other way. And as you're cranking, make sure your pointer's not hitting your degree wheel. You should never touch it. Okay, we're almost coming up. Okay, bang, we just touched. Okay. Now I am at 24. So what you can do is you add those two numbers together, 24 and 33, divide it by 2, and that tells you what number you want your degree wheel on. In our case, we'll add those two numbers up. That's 57 divided by 2 equals 28.5. So we're going to take our degree wheel. Let's go move the degree wheel to 28.5. Okay. Make sure your degree wheel is tight. Go ahead, spin it around. We're almost coming up to 28 here. Okay, just touch the piston. Here's 0, count this way, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, I'll spin it the other way. Okay, 25, 26, 27, 28 and a half. Now you can go ahead and take your piston stop off. So grab your dial indicator, have an extension on it. You're going to want to take a lifter, put some oil on it. We're not going to put assembly lube on it or grease because we're just checking. And we don't want to give it a false reading with extra grease on that cam lobe or on the lifter. So just put a little oil on it. You want the dial indicator just right on that lip. Okay. You want to make sure that the dial indicator is in the same position as the lifter travels. You don't want the dial indicator to be straight up and down. You want it to be on the angle that the push rod is going to be on. Now don't set your dial indicator in the little cup where the push rod goes. Set it right on the lip of the lifter. And then once you get the angle correct, just come around to the front. You want to just make sure that she's not leaning that way or that way. Alright, so once you're good, then we can start cranking her over. I'll show you how to do that to get your readings. One thing I want to point out is you want to make sure that the lifter is not hanging up at all. So kind of keep a finger on it as the lifter's traveling back down, that it's not hanging up. Okay, we got our dial indicator, lifter over to the exhaust, set it up, and we made sure that the dial indicator, the needle went around a couple revolutions. That way we know we're not bottoming out or that we won't have enough travel. Crank the engine around clockwise. Remember, keep your finger on the lifter, and we just want to get our lifter all the way down. Okay, keep your thumb on the lifter, keep a little pressure on it, make sure that it is going down, it's not hanging up. Okay, it looks kind of where she's on the base circle or the bottom. Okay, she moved a little, went down a little bit. We'll re-zero our dial indicator. Okay, our first number we're going to take is right at 50. Now we're going to take it to maximum lift. It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to record that number down. It went around 3 revolutions and stopped at 39. So that's 0.339. So write that number down, that's max lift. So remember, 0.339 times my rocker ratio, which is 1.7, yours might be different, that equals lift, the max lift. Okay, now we're going to continue to go clockwise. And then we want to stop right at 50, right before it closes. Okay, now we got one more to check, is the center line of the exhaust lobe. All right, so let's check that. All right, now we're going to bring it back up to max lift. Okay, that's max lift. I like to zero it out. Okay, we're at 0. We're going to run the motor backwards to 1 full revolution. Okay. That's okay if it goes a little past. Now we're going to bring it to 50 thousandths. If you run it back, we'll have a little slack in the timing chain. So now when we bring it around, we're taking the slack out of the timing chain. Okay, so at 50 thousandths, we're going to record the number. My number is at 156, so I'm going to write that down. Okay, now we're going to bring it back around clockwise. Max lift, she's going to drop down. We're going to bring it right to 50. We're going to take our reading. My reading is 64.5, so I'm going to write that down. Now that we have our numbers, we'll take 156 plus 64.5. That equals 220.5. You divide that by 2, and you come up with your answer, and that's the center line of exhaust lobe. And that's just how you degree a cam. So now I can verify, check my numbers one more time, take a second reading with everything, and that's it.